Good morning and welcome to the Next Level Authorpreneurs group. My name is Aurelia Wynn, and let's see, I started this group. Let's see if it will go to the next slide. I started this group some time ago. Initially, it was called Market Like a Publisher. But it wasn't until recently. It was after meeting with some of the local writers and creatives here in Abilene, Texas, that I see that it's actually a need. The independent book publishing industry, while it may be saturated with authors and publishers, it suffers. It suffers from a lack of knowledge, and a lack of diversity. And so I'm here to change that. Writers everywhere are looking for a community to connect with. They want to connect with those who have the same mission in mind. And so here at Next Level Authorpreneurs, our mission is to turn up the volume within our stories and impact our communities. And so I hope that if you are here in the group, or if you are thinking about joining the group, that you would fall in line with our mission here to turn up the volume within your stories and impact your community. Maybe you're saying, what if I don't have a story written or a story that is published? Well, if you're in this group, you will be inspired to get to writing. That's okay. If you don't have a story that's written yet, by the time we are done, you will have a story, or you might have some journal entries that you might feel inspired to go ahead and put into a book. What if I don't know how to write a book? You will learn. You will learn. That is what this group is about. It's about learning and connecting with like minds. Maybe you're saying, what if I don't have enough credibility or value to share to write a book? You'll be encouraged to change your mind, to change your life, and write a book. Not having enough credibility or value is just a figment of your imagination. Chances are you do. Chances are you are a valuable human being. You have a source, a wealth of knowledge that is waiting to be shared with the rest of us. Share it with the rest of the world. Listen, this is what I believe. I believe that writing and publishing a book is 20% know-how and 80% mindset. We'll get into that a lot more often over these next few weeks. We'll be digging into, of course, the know-how, but we'll also be getting into the mindset. And so what's ahead? Here is what you can expect of me. You'll find a lot of posts from me. I'll be giving you tons of opportunities. I'll be sharing printable PDFs and ebooks for you to use. I'm also creating small programs for you as well. And like I said earlier, I'll be posting a lot of the content here. So go ahead and make sure that you are getting the notifications when I'm going live, when posts are being shared. Go ahead and click the notifications button at the top of the page so that you don't miss anything. I do not want you to miss this at all. A lot of times there will be information that has deadlines of 1 to 2 hours before it disappears, and so make sure that you hit that notification button, and so that you don't miss out on anything. I'll also be sharing what I know and what I have learned. Um, I'll be sharing what I know and what I have learned in the book publishing community. I also expect that some of you seasoned authors who are here in the group will also share what they know and have experienced in the comments as well. While we're talking about that, just a ground rule is, this group is not a group for you to grow your own program or for you to solicit clients. Links in the comments, books in the comments, and telling people to Google information is not acceptable. I will not allow that. Please, if you have some valuable experience or anything like that to add, share it. Share what you've experienced. Share what you know. Anyone can look up anything. This is not what it's for. Also, please do not be DMing or inboxing people. I've been in Facebook groups where I've received unsolicited DMs, unsolicited messages. It's awful. It's awful. Leave people alone. Let's operate here with some respect for each other. You can go to another group if you are here to play games, or if that's what you're here and you're looking to do. I think that I do a good job with vetting those who come into this group, but should something go overlooked, should someone go overlooked, please let me know. However, I do want to collaborate with you. And so if you are interested in collaborating because you have a service or great information to share, email me at info at misswinn.com, and let's talk about collaborating. I actually have some authors that are going to be joining me here soon, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Hey, what's up? I'll also be hosting monthly Q&A chats. I'll also be hosting local events here in Abilene, Texas. I'm looking at a date right now in September, and so I want to not only do these here online, but I also want to get offline and get in my community. And that's something that I recommend all authors do, is not just host events for themselves online, but also get in your community. Let your neighbors know that you are writing a book. Let your neighbors know that you have published a book when it comes out. Members will also receive special promo codes and opportunities and discounts. Again, go ahead and turn on your notifications so that way you know when I go live. And like I said, I will be sharing promo codes that sometimes will only last for a couple of hours. And so I want to make sure that you are seeing that information. Also, I will be inviting some of the authors who I have already worked with and have published here to come and share their experiences with their book publishing endeavors. This particular one, July 19th, I will be having author Fabrine Trevizo Fabs. She's a 4-time published author and songwriter. And so your writing can lead you to do so many other things. It will lead you to tap into so many of your other gifts that are around writing, like speaking and being a coach and doing so many other things. And so make sure that you tap in with us on the 19th. I'll also have another author here with us on the 23rd. Stay tuned for those times. Also, you can just expect a community of people who are willing to put in the work to make their book publishing dreams come true, and who want to get a little louder with their messages via their book. If you know someone who would be interested in any of this, please go ahead and share this group with them. The more, the merrier. And I want to touch on that part about getting louder with sharing their messages. A lot of times when I ask authors, hey, tell me what your book is about, that whatever follows that question, that answer, that's the message that you need to focus on as an author. When you are telling people about your book, it's your reason why. Why did you write this book? Oh, I wrote this book because I wanted to tell people about XYZ. Oh, I wrote this book because I wanted to share my survival story. Okay. Or I wrote this cookbook because I wanted to share healthy meals. Or I wrote, whatever your answer is, that's going to be the message that you want to turn the volume up on. And I'm getting ahead of myself, but I get so excited because that's really going to be the foundation that we build on. Yes, share this group with another writer or published author. Don't let this information, don't let yourself be the only one who is getting this information. So over the next 7 weeks, I will be teaching from my book, The 6 Steps to Self-Publishing, a book publishing process. It is on sale right now until July 16th for 99 cents. If you need to hop off and get this book and then come back, that's fine, but maybe wait until we're done. But just know it's on sale right now for 99 cents. After that, it will go back to its regular price for $9. And so get it on a discount or full price. Either way, we are going to be going over it. I'll be going over the 6 steps to self-publish, the 6 steps for newbie authors as well as seasoned authors. The purpose is to give you insight into the book publishing process and to show you where you might have holes that need repairing. The 6 steps in short they're already on the screen. They are to write, design, market, print, publish, and sell your book. And it's so funny, since I've released this book, I also found a post that I shared earlier this week, and I've also shared this post before, so if you've been following me for a while, you've definitely seen me post this before. And it goes right along there with the 6 steps to self-publishing, and it's the branding, it's creating goals, it's building a team, it's promoting your book, doing pre-sales, and then launching your book. And so we're going to get into the ebook that is available online, and then we're also going to get into these 6 steps as well. 6 months until book launch, we're also going to get into that. Number 1 is pretty self-explanatory: writing your book. If you struggle with writing your book, I also have a book out called Self-Publishing 101, How to Write a Book from Start to Publish. And that's the book right there in the top left corner. It might be your top right corner. But these are books that I have written. I've written 3 books for indie authors right now. And I've also written books really for anyone. If you do not know, I'm considered an author publisher, and so I write books, hence the author, but I also publish books, hence publisher. And not only do I do that, but I also design merchandise for authors and writers. And so that picture right there in the bottom, it says "Time to Write." That's one of the mugs I also have on my website. And I also design journals. And so I consider myself to be very fluid in the book publishing community, in the book writing community. I love it. I love what I get to do. And so definitely check that out. But over the next 7 weeks, we're going to dig into these things for 7 weeks. But after those 7 weeks, our meetings will be held monthly. This is where I'm at. The level that I'm at right now is called Saturate the Market with Information. I first want to be so helpful for you all and just really give you all that I've got for these next 7 weeks. After that, The next level that I'm headed towards is called narrowing my focus. I want to become so focused. I have a online bookstore, and I want to open up a brick and mortar, and so I'm focusing on that. And I also have a team of authors that I want to serve better at Win Publications. And so I want to go from this expansive teaching and being so helpful to focusing on avenues that I have already established, and I want to pour and give more of myself there. And then my hopes, really my overall hope is to be considered. I would love to work with you, whether you decide to become a Win Publications author, or if you decide to self-publish, take all this information that I'm sharing and publish your book on your own. I would love to have your book shared and sold in my bookstore. I hope, really truly, I hope to hear stories of how people were inspired to write, were inspired to speak up, and were inspired to publish their work. And so if you haven't written your book yet, that's okay. You're exactly who I want to talk with. If you've already written your book and you've published it, I also want to hear from you. I would love to sell your book. Yeah, and so that's my heart. I wanted to be totally, transparent with you and just say, hey, this is where I'm at. These next 7 weeks, I want to share all of this information with you. Then I want to get a little bit more focused and build out what I already have. And then I hope that you would consider working with me. These things will be shared in replays, and so if you miss something, that's okay. However, I'll say it again. Go ahead and turn on your notifications so that you do not miss anything. I know that some people, celebrate their Sabbath or take their day of rest on Saturdays. That is okay. I'll also be going live most of the time, Monday through Friday, and so don't worry about that. So let's go ahead and get into some questions. I did say today's live was not only going to just be like a welcome and to set the foundation, but I also wanted to answer some questions. I do have questions here generated, and so if I don't see any questions in the chat, I'm going to answer these. I have a few here that I want to share with you. So number one, what are my book publishing options? While I'm sharing about self-publishing, you also have the option to work with a hybrid publisher. And so Win Publications is considered a hybrid publisher, which means our authors, while they do pay to publish, they also get paid higher royalties. So hybrid publishing is the best of both worlds. Hybrid publishing is a little bit of self-publishing, and it's a little bit of traditional publishing. And so we'll get into that more. But those are your options: self-publishing, working with a hybrid publisher, or going the traditional publishing route. And we absolutely can get into those options more as we get into my 7-week Prepare to Publish program. Question number 2, what is an independent author, or indie author for short? An independent author is an author who is not under contract of an agent. And it also, let's say that you do have a literary agent that you're working with. You can check your contract, should you get one, check your contract and see, do you still have the right to be a self-published author? Do you still have the right to work with other publishers? And so that's just something that, if you are desiring to become a traditionally published author, the best way to go about that is to get a literary agent. Otherwise, if you do not have an agent, you are considered an independent author. The authors that I work with at Win Publications are considered independent authors. They have the right to republish their work with another publisher. They also can self-publish their work. And so the authors that I do publish with Win Publications as a hybrid publishing company are independent authors. Independent author means you just don't have an agent. Yeah, yeah. So that's all it means is you don't have an agent, you don't have someone representing you. You are basically you are calling the shots. When someone is working with Win Publications, I we come on as your team of experts, and so we will get into that more in our 7 weeks in over the next 7 weeks. Question number 3 is, what does next level authorpreneur mean? So next level, I mean, it is how it sounds, basically. So next level is thinking about where do you want to take your writing, or where do you want to take your author journey. And that's really for you to decide. I shared kind of my next levels, and what I'm doing and where I would like to go. So those are the things that I desire. Those are my goals. And we'll talk more about goals over the next 7 weeks. But it's just taking those next steps, and you get to decide what those next steps are. And together we can come up with a plan to how to take those next steps, what they might look like. Maybe you've already discovered some of the next steps over the course of these last few minutes of this video. Maybe it's to write that book, right? That might be your next step. If you're joining the group and you're saying, Aurelia, I have not yet written a book, I would like to. Okay, that's going to be your next step. And that will be your next level. So I'm using steps and levels interchangeably, but they pretty much mean the same thing. An authorpreneur is how it sounds. It's an author and an entrepreneur together. It's authors who are wanting to make an income from their work. And I've said it before, but I will say it. You'll hear me say this over and over again. In order to make an income, you also have to make an impact. You also have to make an influence. And so we are going to focus on creating an impact in our communities. We're going to focus on creating and developing an influence in order to make an income. And so as an authorpreneur, you're using your creative side as an author to essentially create an income or a business. If you see that being one of the next steps for yourself, then absolutely. So that's what an authorpreneur is. Next level authorpreneur is just an author who wants to make an impact, who wants to create an influence, who wants to make an income, and take those next steps in order to do that, and to do that successfully. And so that's what we're going to be getting into also. Another question is, can I become a speaker? Yes, essentially that is what I see happen a lot of times with the authors that I work with, is they do find themselves becoming a speaker, because when you are focused on making an impact in your communities and making an influence in your communities, you oftentimes become a speaker for the message that is within your book. And that's something absolutely to embrace, but I get it. It can also be something that is really scary if you do not consider yourself as someone who is a great public speaker. That's okay. Again, publishing a book wouldn't really, I mean, this principle, this thought can apply to so many different things, as far as it's 80% mindset and 20% know-how. If you can decide in your mind that you're going to be receptive to whatever comes with writing and publishing your book, man, that's a great place to start. Hey, I'm just going to be open to whatever happens with this book. It's all a part of the process. So yes, you can become a speaker. You can become a songwriter. Oftentimes, poets will say, hey, this poem is actually a song. Okay, that's awesome. You can become a songwriter, or you can even become a singer yourself. And so that's something to consider. Also, another question that I get asked is, when should I start marketing my book? I would start marketing your book as soon as you know why you are writing your book. And as I said earlier, oops, excuse me. As I said earlier, that message, your reason why, and even what your book is about, is going to be the message that you want to turn the volume up on, and that message is what you want to market. I don't know if you've seen the post that I shared on Instagram. I'll go back and look. I don't know if I shared it here on Facebook. But there was a post that said, I don't understand why nobody in the book publishing industry is talking about how marketing and writing books are similar. In the same way that it takes creativity and being organized and clarity to write a book, it takes those same strengths and skills to market a book. And a lot of times authors have that. You have that creativity. If you need some organization and clarity, I absolutely can help you with that. And really, marketing is just telling stories about the story that you have written. You can tell stories about the book that you're writing, or about the book that you've written over and over and over again. And you can actually tell the story before the book is actually even out and even done. And so I would say, as soon as you get the idea for the story, you can start marketing your book. You don't have to say, oh, I'm writing a book, blah, blah, blah. You can simply turn the volume up on the message that you are putting in the book. You can do that right away. And then next question is, are there programs I can use to do the whole process yourself? Absolutely. And I will be sharing with you my toolbox of the different programs that you can use to go through the book publishing process yourself. And then second to last question, why do people say that you should not pay to publish a book? A lot of times people will share from their own experiences. They will say, last time I paid someone to publish my book and things didn't go as planned. Well, listen, what I would ask you is, how long do you plan to be in the book publishing industry? Are you just here for a good time, or do you plan to be here for years? Because I would say that when it comes to the book publishing industry, there is a learning curve. You are going to learn quickly who to work with and who not to work with. And so a lot of times people say, do not pay to publish because of an experience that they have had. And you have to decide if someone else's experience, someone who you may or may not even know, if their experience is worth something to you, if that means something to you. And so a lot of times that's why people say that. There are people out there, there are vanity press who will just take your money and publish your book and make you go through hoops. And that might be, for some people, that might be an experience that they have to go through so that they can learn how to vet even publishers. Vet the people that you are going to pay to even help you publish, right? And these things we'll get into more deeper throughout the next 7 weeks. And then another question that I always get asked is, how can I become a New York Times bestseller? You can become a New York Times bestseller by selling, I believe it's like 10,000 copies of your book within the first week that it's released. And so if that seems like a large number to you, essentially it is. But there are authors out there who have sold 40 million copies of their book. And so 10,000 is not that big of a number. Again, it's all in your mindset. And so it can be done. A lot of authors will reach that number after their third or fourth book. And so that's something to consider is, like I said earlier, how long do you plan to be in this industry? How many books do you plan to write? How many books can you write? How many messages do you have to share with the world? And when are you going to get started? Okay, when are you really going to get started? And so that's it for the Q&A. Again, welcome to the Next Level Authorpreneurs group. We will get started Monday, July 11th at 7 p.m. Central. We'll be getting into, of course, the writing of the book. But I also want to talk about your branding. I want to talk about your branding. And so while we're talking about writing our books, I also want to talk about your branding, because you can actually start branding yourself as an author right now, right away. And so, yeah, let's get into that on Monday. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great weekend. I will share this replay in its entirety. And yeah, check me out here on my social media handles. That is Instagram, Facebook. I'm on TikTok as well. And then my website is misswin.com. All right, that's all I got for you this morning, and I will see you all on Monday. Peace out.